everybody, it's Beth here again. Today we're going to have a little go at painting this very cute little koala. So we will need some black and some white paint, a pencil, and we'll need a little bit of brown and a little bit of pink for the eyes and the mouth. If you don't have brown or pink paint, don't worry. We can use pencil crayons or felt tips or whatever you have. If you haven't got paints at all, then we can still have the same effect just using pencils. So if you are ready, we will have a go. Okay, so we're going to start by drawing the koala's nose. I'm going to put a pencil about halfway up the page and just little sketchy lines again. I'm just going to do the top of his nose, so a little curved line like that. Okay, and then we're going to bring it down. It's like sort of almost like a rectangle shape, so we're going to bring these lines down there. It's slightly wider at the top, and then we're going to bring it round so it comes slightly narrower, not too much, and I'm bringing mine down to about there, and then we're just going to curve it round up a little bit at the bottom, then curve it round the other way. Okay, so nice. It is very rectangular, just comes in a little bit at the bottom and then two little curves like that. So that's the nose. Just going to pop in his little nostrils like that, so you can see how it's going to look. So there we go, and his mouth is just in line with the nose, and we're just going to bring it round a nice curve. So that's his mouth. Okay, so we've got his nose and his mouth mapped in. We are going to do his eyes next. So his eyes, they're very close together, very close to the nose. So we're just going to go out a little bit, and the bottom of the eye is going to be in line almost with the top of the nose, just slightly lower. So a nice big sort of circle there, nice round eyes. So one eye there, and then just track it over to the other side, and another eye, his left eye here. So little lines. Okay. So just take a look, just check that you're happy with the positioning, rub it out, redo if you need to. Okay, mine might be a little bit closer, but I don't think it matters. So I've got his eyes mapped in. Now we're going to do his head. So his head is very circular actually. So we're going to just, he's got quite a big forehead, so we're going to go up quite high and over, down on both sides. Work the sides at the same time, and then you can just keep checking that you think it's roughly equal on both sides. Bringing it down. I'm doing the sides at the same time, and then I'm going to put a little dot where I want it to join up. So it's just a little bit under his chin, quite close to his chin. In fact, I'm going to go a bit higher up. So I'm going to take that up now to meet this line. You can see I've gone a bit too far, so we'll just rub that out in a minute. So just take a step back just to check that you're happy. And when you are, you can then just rub out any lines that you don't need. Okay, so basic shape, get that mapped in. Right, so once you've done that, we'll do his ears. So his ears are very round again, almost like, I was going to say a semicircle, but they're even rounder than that. So I'm going to start my ear, if you track it from your eye, just towards the edge of the eye, and we're going to do little lines, really nice big round ears, and I'm going to finish off sort of level with the eye almost, so bring it up to join that ear, and the same on the other side. So I want to sort of start it level with maybe the edge of the eye, and then finish it, track it over there so I know where I'm working towards. If your ear goes off the edge of the page, that's fine. It's better to go off the edge than to try and squeeze it in and make it too small. So we've got two really nice big curved ears, nice big round ears. And then all we need to do now is just do his shoulders. So I'm going to take my pencil line, probably level with the bottom of his nose, or maybe just slightly lower, and then just bring it down, curve it round like this. And again, track it over so it's roughly the same on both sides. And then bring it down. Okay, so we've got our basic outline. The only small details that we're going to pop in are just his eye, and I'm going to just do a nice big pupil like that on both eyes. Nice big round pupil like that. And I think that's probably it. We could just put a little line inside his ears if you wanted to, just to help us a little bit when we come to paint it. Right, so we've got our basic outline in now. We're going to start painting. So I've just got quite a lot of white and black. We're going to just do a base of grey to start with. So I'm going to mix up a grey that I want. I'm going to take away my white, make a little pool of white, and then I'm not going to add the black to that white. I want to keep that white nice and clean. And then I'm going to take one scoop of black and then just swirl it round to make a nice little whirlpool. I'm not spreading it all over my palette and wasting the paint. So I've got a nice mid-grey, mid to pale grey. I'm just going to do this as a bit of a base layer to start with. So I'm using my brush strokes to try and emphasise the fur. So I'm just going to paint his face. Get this on. I'm going to work as quickly as I can for you. You obviously go at your pace, take the time. Enjoy the painting. So I'm going to go around the eyes. I'm going to leave a little gap around the eyes so it's slightly lighter. So we've got a nice light section just around the eyes. And then we're going to work down the face. I'm working over my pencil line a little bit, just trying to soften up those edges. And then round the mouth, down his nose. Just get this base layer on. First of all, do his ears. I'm going to go right to the edge of his ears to start with, I think. Breaking out over the pencil line, just soften up that edge. So one ear, do the other ear. Okay, just going to need to make a little bit more paint for my body. So a bit of white, one scoop of black, swirl it round, get that whirlpool going. And then I'm just going to go down the sides of my koala. So flicking out the edge a little bit again. And then down this side. I'm not going to do the middle bit yet. We're going to do that a bit lighter. So all the way down this side. Okay, so we've got our base layer on now with our sort of mid to light grey. This bit I want lighter, so what I will do, if I've got lots of paint on my brush, I'll just gently wipe it off. I'm not washing my brush. You don't need to wash your brush because that makes the paint go really watery. And we're just using these shades at the moment. So I've just done one big scoop of white, and that's made sort of a very light middle with a tint of grey, but much lighter. So now I'm going to start building up the shades. I'm going to get a little bit darker. So I'm going to add to that grey, I'm going to add another scoop of black, and we're going up a shade now. We're going to get darker. So I've got sort of a nice dark-ish grey. And I'm going to start adding, in fact I'll go a bit darker, so maybe another little scoop. So I'm going to start adding now. Let's just test it, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to start adding some more shades. So we're going to have some dark grey. Now I'm going to go round the edge of the ear with my dark grey and keeping the middle bit quite light. And around the edge of the ear again. To blend it in a bit, and the base of the ear, to blend it in, what you can do is just dip a little bit of white and then just work over it with a little bit of white, and that helps to just blend it back into your base colour. So I've done the dark grey and then a tiny bit of white, just blending that in. Okay, so I'm just working that dark grey just at the base of the ears a little bit as well. I'm not covering all of my light grey, just adding a layer of dark grey on now, but a little bit down the edge of the face, a little bit on the cheeks, a bit under the chin, and working around, flicking it out, going out of my pencil line again, softening those edges, and then a little bit of white just to blend that in a little bit. Okay, so it's starting to look really fluffy now. So I'm going to do the same down the sides. So I'm not doing it in the middle. So little bits on the arms, if they are arms. So a little bit of dark grey, a little bit of white, just to blend it in. Little brush strokes. I'm not doing them really neatly, they're quite random, not in perfect straight lines or stripes. So sort of little flicky brush strokes, different directions. And then get your white and just use your white just to blend it in. So we've got all these lovely tones, hopefully, of greys, light grey and dark grey. Just break up that edge a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to just put a few little ones just in the middle, just to tie it in, but not very many, because I really want this middle section to stay light. So it just brings it in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to now let's work on the nose a little bit, and then we'll come back and add a few little black bits into the fur as well. So actually, before we do that, what we will do is we will just add a little bit of white. So just dip into your white. Again, if it's just, you've got a bit of grey on your brush, that's fine, because we want it to have a tint of grey in. So just dip your brush into that white. We'll do the white before we go onto the black. So just around the eyes, You might want to put a little bit of more white in the middle of the ears as well, just to get that middle section a bit lighter. Right, so now we will go on to our black. So what I'm going to do with the nose, we want to grade it from the bottom to the top. We want to make it lighter. So we're going to start off with just a little bit of black on your brush. Don't put too much on because it will be really hard for you to blend if you've got too much on. And really slowly and carefully now with the black. Don't rush this, you need to be super careful because if you go wrong with the black, it's really hard to fix. So just putting a little bit of black just on the bottom. I'm not doing a perfectly straight line, sort of grading it up a little bit, so it's going a bit on the slant. And then I'm going to wipe my brush, try and wipe gently all that black off, or as much black as I can, and then I'm going to now dip it into my whites. I'm going to start adding a bit of white and blending that back into my black. So we're hopefully now getting sort of a grey. I'm going to wipe that off, dip it into my white again, and as we work up, wipe it, a bit more white. We should hopefully get a lighter bit at the top. So blend that down. I'm also going to try and leave a little white shine, if I can, on the nose up here. Okay. Okay, so we've got a nice transition from dark to light on his nose. You can then go back to your black if you want, and we can just add a few little black little lines at the top. And if you want to, although I'd suggest maybe you do this with, you could do this with a pen at the end when it's dry, just outline it a little bit just to bring it out. Okay, so once we've got our nose done, we're going to just put a little bit of black in our koala now, so not too much, don't go too mad. So just be very sparing with your black, and a little bit around the ears, just emphasising the fur, the fluffiness of the fur. So a little, my brush is also quite dry, which is a nice sort of fluffy effect. Do around the ears. I'm doing more at the base of the ears where it will be a little bit darker. Just a few little fluffy flicks. Again, my brush is quite dry, it's quite a nice effect if you let your brush dry a little bit. Work over. So we're building up these shades, so you don't want to completely cover it. And then just a few little flicks just on the face. Like this. And then down his arms, I'll do a few more. Down his arms. Really nice little flicks. Okay, so we should end up with lots and lots of lovely shades of greys and all this nice furry texture. Okay, right, so we're getting there. Last few bits are his eyes and his mouth. So with his eyes, what I'm going to do is we're going to use a brown, just because it's easier for me. I'm going to use my watercolours. See that? Just washing my brush, so washing all that black off. I'm going to use my watercolours. You can use whatever you've got to hand. So if you've got paints, that's fine. If you've got felt tips, that's fine, or pencil crayons. So you just use whatever you have at hand, okay? And if you haven't got that, we can just shade it. So what we're going to do, first of all, actually, we're going to use our brown. So you pick a brown that you like. I'm going for quite a dark brown. Really working my brush. And I'm going to just do the outside edge. Okay, so Carefully working around the eye. Nice and slow and careful. Definitely don't rush the eyes. So slow and careful, so nice big round eyes. Okay, now I'm going to go to the black. We're going to add the black. I'm just going to stick with the watercolours just for now, but you can go back to your paint or use your pens. It's easier to use pens for the tricky bits because you've got much more control. And I'm just going to, really important, just leave a little white shine in your eye and have it in the same place on both eyes. So there we go. Once you put your eyes in, it brings it to life, doesn't it? All right. And then with your black, again, probably do this with a pen. Just outline just your eye a little bit. A little nice black line around your eye on both sides. Just makes it pop out a little bit. Okay, so that's your eyes, and then the last little bit is your nose and your mouth. So I'm going to use a pink. We want a very pale pink if you can. So just a little pale pink nostrils and very watery, get pale pink mouth. Okay, you can put a tiny bit in your ears if you wanted to, but don't cover that grey. You don't want really pink ears, just to add a little layer of pink. Okay, so we're nearly there. I think we've done with the painting. What I'm going to do now is get my pencil back. We're just going to add the final layer of detail. Make sure that your paint is dry. So obviously you don't want to be doing it over wet paint. So as long as your paint is dry, you can do this little bit now. So I'm going to first of all just outline it. I'm just going to do a little, oh, ignore my naughty doggy again. I can hear him barking at the postman. So little wiggly line, little wiggly outline, not a continuous line. I'm breaking it up, just doing a few little wiggles round his face. Just brings it out a little bit more. Little wiggly line. And then down his body. And then I'm going to just work just a little layer of pencil just over the top, make him look even fluffier. So a bit round his eyes. Little lines. Top of his nose. Think about the direction of your lines again. We want to just keep it consistent with our brush strokes, so just the fur, adding to this fur, little flicky lines down his face. And his ears. And then just some down his body as well. A little bit under his chin. And I think that is finished. So, just add all your last little flicks in, maybe a couple there, but I think we are done. One finished koala. So we hope you enjoyed that. That's our koala bear finished for today. We would love to see your pictures, so do send them in to us, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.